Today's our first ever Seller's Edge monthly training. In this episode, we're going to go over how I found a brand new product that I can come in at a price point twice as much as the competition, and how Shivali was able to sell $45,000 on her brand new product in only 2 weeks. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium 10. I'm your host, Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that's a completely BS-free, unscripted, and unrehearsed organic conversation about serious strategies for serious sellers of any level in the e-commerce world. And as mentioned, this is the first in a new series that we're going to do monthly, where we go over a different topic in our Seller's Edge training webinar. I actually recorded this in front of a live audience, so this episode might have a little bit different sound than normally, and there's definitely some interactions there. But we have here cut up the highlights from that training, and basically I'm going to show you how Shivali took some steps to have a product that nobody can compete with her in, and it was over $100, and she was able to get 40% profit and sell $45,000, even though she launched right after Black Friday. Kind of crazy. And then how I am launching a product like in the next couple of weeks, and I'm going through all the steps on exactly how I found it and how I can have a higher price point as well. And we go over some other product research strategies that I think will definitely be able to help you guys. So this is a new series. Hope you enjoy it. This is 100% based on value that can help you find your first or next product to sell on Amazon. Here we go. Welcome to our new monthly workshop. We call it Seller's Edge monthly series. And this one is entitled How to Find Your First or Next Product to Sell in 2024. So we are going to start off with a real life experience. I'm going to interview somebody right now who launched a product and had a lot of success on Amazon, especially in Q4, which is kind of like when people say, oh, you should never launch a product during that time. So we're going to ask Shivali to come on the show right now. Shivali, you there? There she is.
Well, yes, I am.
I want to talk to you about your product launch. You know, we had you on the podcast a few months ago, and you were talking about this long journey of getting it ready. But then you actually launched in December. But for those who maybe didn't hear that podcast, let's start on this. You know, like you were selling on Amazon years ago, and then you've always been selling for years, like books, but you really wanted to have like a physical product to sell. Like a lot of people here, they're looking for their first product. So they might have been kind of like it wasn't your first product, but you were restarting it. So there might be in a similar situation as you. So how do you tackle it first? Like, were you like, hey, I want to try to find a product that just there's a lot of demand for it? Or were you like, hey, I want to find a lot of demand, but it's got to be something that maybe I'm passionate about? What was your thought process when you first started?
I was quite open to whatever opportunity I was finding. I was using BlackBox, which I love because my first brand I launched years ago, I did manually. I was inside of Amazon, going through bestsellers lists, looking at BSRs, trying to understand the reviews, figure out what I could do better. And that's great. It works, but it takes a long time. And so that's where software like BlackBox is really, really helpful because it processes over 2 billion data points daily, right? Something that you can't actually do. So going in, I was pretty open. I did many, many searches inside of BlackBox. And then from there started narrowing things down based off of different parameters. So whether that was profitability, I mean, all of these things are important, but profitability, what I can add, value creation, the price point, checking out the market, the competition, what sort of reviews there are. Yeah. And I also did go to trade shows as well. So I actually flew out. At the time, I was considering a cocktail smoker kit. And
what is a cocktail smoker kit?
It's those, if for anybody who drinks, I mean, you don't have to necessarily have it be a cocktail, but a mocktail or even smoking your food comes with a little blowtorch and then different oak pieces.
Yeah, I've seen that.
The presentation, it's really nice. But I was considering that, and a supplier ended up saying, hey, I'm actually in the US. And so I flew out to meet that supplier in person, which is a really, really cool experience. There was many vendors there, people that had flown in from Indonesia, from China. I got to see actual products, feel them, try to negotiate a price point, get a basic understanding. Cool enough is I ended up meeting somebody who helped me design a brand new product, which I'm hoping to launch eventually as well.
This was at the trade show that you went to?
At the trade show, yeah. So they designed a completely new style of a product for me.
Okay, so there's the first thing that's probably interesting to maybe some of you guys haven't thought about that. But, maybe you think that, the only place you can go to trade shows, which is 100% accurate, like it's a great place to go, is like in China. But what Shivali is talking about, I believe, was in Chicago or somewhere in the United States. So sometimes, a lot of Chinese factories, Indian factories, and other factories, they'll come to US-based trade shows. And it's also a place where you can go and meet a supplier maybe you've been talking to online, like Shivali was doing. But also, you might meet somebody else that is completely not even why you went there. So in her situation, she met somebody who's helping her design another product. So then that original product, the smoker kit, you went to that trade show, you kind of like, nope, I'm probably not going to do this. How did you land on this makeup bag that you ended up going with?
I found it inside a BlackBox, and I saw many different keywords. Actually, I was using the keywords tab. I went through and I did a few other things. I did the regular products tab. I did the keywords tab. I went into product opportunity explorer inside of Amazon. I was looking at Etsy and Pinterest trends as well. Anytime I was scrolling on social media, I mean, the list was massive. And then eventually I found, I think, 5 to 6 different keywords inside of the keywords tab that were all related to the bag. So obviously there was a growing demand for it. And then from there went into the product validation. And I felt like I could actually contribute something to that space because I grew up in fashion, and in the beauty, personal care sector, I guess, is something that I've taken time to educate myself on and spent many hours with. And so when I started having conversations after that with you, I think we also had a very unique pitching point that I felt I could go onto the market with a premium price point, because anytime I'm selling something, the value creation is important, but you also want to make it worth the person's while. So if I'm going in with a premium price, I want to over deliver on it. And I think this bag really hit all those spots.
And this was a high, the market was kind of high. Aren't most products there like $80-$100 or so?
No. So when I was looking at this product, everything was $30. And wow. I wanted to sell it for $120. And I knew I wanted to sell it for somewhere between $120 and like $140. But by the time that I actually launched, there was a couple bags on the market that were selling for $160 with a lot less value, in my opinion. They're nice, but also if you think about anything else in the world, you have your cars, you have your Coach bags, there's always a market for something. So I suppose at that point, it's just what, you're planning to, or who you're really getting.
So then, a lot of people here in this room, they might not be able to afford a product that requires an investment, pretty high, because, if you're having a $120 product, your cost might be like $30 or $40 a unit. And then if you're, what was your MOQ, by the way?
My MOQ was 500.
500. All right. So like you guys can do the math. If you're buying a product that costs $30 and you have to order 500 or 1,000, you're already talking about $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 before you even consider shipping. However, on the flip side is if you can afford that, this is just by itself a way that you can differentiate yourself from these saturated niches, because not that many people can afford to go into a niche like that. So you're immediately kind of like disqualifying a lot of the potential people that you might be going up against. So let's fast forward. You took a few months, you started designing the product, you're looking at different needs, and you actually built in like your own program. Since you're kind of like your own influencer, you're like, hey, I'm going to sell this product with also like this course. And so just, briefly, like in a minute or so, can you talk about how that idea came? And then what's the deliverable like? Like, are people getting this card inside the thing that says, hey, sign up for my beauty course, or how did that work?
I have always sold physical and digital products separately. And I thought it would be interesting to combine the two, especially because a lot of the competitors inside of the makeup bag market were selling essentially as the add-on a 10x magnifier. It was like the bonus piece that people throw in for bundling options. And I know for me, while a magnifying mirror is helpful, I don't actually use one on a day-to-day basis. So it has no real value for me as a consumer. Not to say that it doesn't for somebody else, but for me. Outside of that, they also had these little travel jewelry compartments, which is great. But again, what's something that would be more of an experience, right? That would justify a $120 price point. And so I started looking at the intersection of a digital course or a live coaching element, which one increases your touch points with the customer. You get to hopefully with, of course, and like, I'm not saying anything black hat. I'm just saying that you can get to know maybe your customer a little bit better, and then you'll know their order number, so you can ask them to request a review a little bit later on. But yeah, the delivery aspect of it for the actual course is a product insert, which I created a QR code using Helium 10's portals, and then just put that in so they get access to an exclusive course that pretty much no other competitors can replicate, right? Because it takes a significant amount of time to go through and film a bunch of videos, and then also end up taking time to do live coaching as well.
Yeah. Hold on. I want to pause you right there because this is important. I want to make sure people understood the main point here. We hear so much, and maybe you who haven't started on Amazon yet, you've probably heard, oh my goodness, it's too late to sell on Amazon, or there's just too much competition, or no matter what I sell, everybody's going to copy me, and then everybody's going to do it and have a low price. And guys, let me tell you, first of all, that's not true. Like in some, like categories, maybe that's true. Like if you just have a generic product, could everybody copy you? There's not much room for differentiation. Sure. But there are so many opportunities out there where you as if you're selling in Europe, you're Europe based, you're selling in America, you're US based. There's things that you can do. There's skills that you have, or maybe utilizing the network you have, that you can kind of like competition proof what you're trying to make. So Shivali, she was like, what can I do that, probably the factories that are trying to sell direct on Amazon can't do? All right. And one of them is like, hey, she's like, let me make an actual course that nobody, no Chinese factory or Indian factory or any other country that makes this are going to take the time to find an American-based influencer and film this whole course and have that be a threat. Like literally nobody is going to do that. So this is something that she has like a 100% exclusivity on, that she never has to worry about competing with other people. And it's going to allow her to keep a higher price point as well, because there's this added bonus. So don't let people tell you, oh, it's impossible to compete on Amazon because of the competition. No, you absolutely, can do that. Now, let's just fast forward. Now, you launched on what, it doesn't have to be the exact date, but when did you actually launch your product?
November 30th or...
So like, right? Wait, November 30th. Was that during Black Friday weekend or?
Okay. I was trying to get ahead of Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but the issue was it's an electronics item, and I had some sort of request that they asked for, like an MSDS safety sheet, and then it got classified as a dangerous good. So all my inventory was at the facilities, but it was in reserve. I couldn't access it. I couldn't sell it.
Yeah.
And then eventually when it finally happened, I pretty much didn't know when it went. I was checking, but I couldn't tell because it was like some of the products looked okay. And then I made the stupid blunder of trying to check if it was available by buying, but then it wouldn't let me buy because I'm a seller. I didn't, process that. But finally, November 30th, I had my first sale. It went live and I had my first sale. And then I actually discounted that product for, I think it was like $20, or not $20, 20%. And then it had like that nice strike through price. So I dropped from $120 to $90, and then went back up because
So end of November, you're doing all this, which by the way, guys, she's talking about like what we call the Maldives honeymoon strategy. I'll give you guys links to how to launch your product, based on the Maldives honeymoon strategy. It has to do with PPC and putting a heavy discount on your product. Now, some people in the chat are asking about if they can see the product. I can throw it up here. Is it out of stock right now? Like, did you sell out, or is it actually live still?
No, it's still live.
Fast forward, guys, she kind of like was doing stuff that some people say, oh, you should never do, like never launch a product in Q4. Don't launch a product during Black Friday weekend. But she did that. And then right away, what did you get your kind of like daily sales up to?
70 units a day.
70 units a day
70
at
units a day.
$100 price point. But guys, this is the product that we're talking about. It's a real live product that was just launched on Amazon a couple months ago. Here we go. Brand new. She doesn't even have the video on here yet. Like she even didn't even do the brand registry at first. I remember because she just like got this up. But where does it? Man, these are some nice images. So here's the image that talked about her makeup lessons. Okay, there she is. She's her own influencer. Totally fine. You're not going to see me put my picture on a coffin shelf, which is the kind of products I sell.
I don't know. I think a lot of people right now that are watching would buy things if you were the influencer.
I don't know. No, I don't know. That's not the way I roll. But you can see, like, if you go back in her BSR, like when she launched the product, and look at these crazy BSRs that she was having. Now, obviously, the sales have gone down after Christmas. This was a heavy item in Christmas. But long story short, like, how much money did you sell in December of this product? Like, what was your gross sales at?
$46,000.
$46,000. And what kind of profit margins did you have?
So after all I originally thought I had like a 57% profit margin, but after all the calculations, I think it was closer to 45% profit margin.
45%. Now, guys, we're not going to be here and say that, oh, everybody who sells on Amazon using her strategies and using Helium 10 is going to be able to sell $45,000 in 3 weeks and 40% profit margins. She obviously worked really hard to do this, but it shows that what is possible, because she didn't use any special hack because she's a Helium 10 employee or some backdoor into Amazon. She just used the same exact strategies that you could have. And somebody asked, hey, after ad spend, what was the margin? No, that is after everything, after her cost, after PPC, after everything, 40%. Yeah. Ron says she doesn't even have A+ content. Yeah. She didn't even have brand registry. She got this out so fast. She didn't even have brand registry yet. And she just sold out almost completely. All right, well, that's a cool story. I'm gonna give one of mine. So let me give you guys one more story about something that hasn't even launched yet. But let me walk you through the process. And this has she talked about how she found her opportunity in Helium 10. Let me show you something where I found an opportunity, and originally it came not from BlackBox, but another tool that's not even designed for product research. All right. So does anybody in here use the regular market tracker? All right, this is not Market Tracker, 360, regular Market Tracker. Let me show you guys. Let me retrace what I did a few months ago. This is the regular Market Tracker. And as you guys may or may not know, so if you're new to Helium 10, you probably haven't seen Project X, but we launched this product called a coffin shelf. All right. And so I've sold hundreds of thousands of dollars of these coffin related items. And so I have this coffin shelf market. And basically what it does is I'm tracking my market share. I'm tracking like where my market compared to the others. And actually, I did so well in Q4, I sold out until just like a week ago of coffin shelves. Okay. Now, let me show you here what I was looking at. What the purpose of this tool is, it allows me to track what is going on with my direct coffin shelf competitors, right? But then it also suggests to me like, hey, there's a new coffin shelf or a new potential player that might be like coming into your niche, right? And so you can see here, those of you watching this, and if you're listening to this later, you might not see this visual here, but there's a button that says track or ignore. So it's saying like, hey, here's a new player in this niche. Do you want to start tracking him to track how your market share is going? All right. And so I was scrolling on here, and then look, do you guys see what this is? Let me know in the chat. Do you guys, if you can see it, it's kind of hard. These two things that are not coffin shelves, what does it look like to you guys? Bats. Yes, exactly. These are bat shelves. Okay. So now all of a sudden, let me just explain how my thought process went. I'm like, wait a minute, this is kind of interesting. All right. Like, these people are not my direct competitors, but they must be ranking for similar keywords. And I'm like, that makes sense. Like in coffin decor is like a bat shelf might be kind of like a kind of spooky thing, right? So I went into an Amazon tool. All right. That is the Product Opportunity Explorer. Okay. This is another thing that anybody on this call should have access to. Whether or not you guys have brand registry, you should have Product Opportunity Explorer. So I typed in the keyword coffin shelf because, again, that's what I was selling. And I'm like, all right, let's take a look at what are the top clicked products after coffin shelf. So after people search coffin shelf and the related search terms, what are people clicking on? Okay, now this is not Helium 10. This is directly from Amazon. All right, I like to kind of validate to see a little bit deeper what's going on once I saw that initially inside of Helium 10. And then sure enough, look here in the top 10 products after my products, a lot of these are my products that I'm selling. I start seeing these bat related products. And so I'm like, okay, that's interesting, but I want to take it a step further. Like, I could launch a bat shelf, and I still might do a bat shelf, but are there any other bat-related items? Maybe I could start a line of bat-related items. So here's what I did, all right? So Shivali's situation was kind of like, hey, she was looking for her first product on a new brand. A lot of you guys haven't found your first product yet. You follow that technique, right? I'm talking about what if you already are selling a brand? How can you expand it out? And this is the kind of process for you guys, all right? So I went back into Helium 10 BlackBox, okay? Let's go ahead and go into that tool. So now, this is what I want you guys to do. We're literally retracing my steps. I'm going to try and remember what I did. I'm selling, there's probably a lot of bat-related products that maybe might be in the pet niche, like people making bat houses and stuff like that. There's probably a lot of Batman stuff in the memorabilia, right? But I wanted to do stuff in my niche. So hit the category and subcategory drop down in BlackBox and select home and kitchen. All right, so I wanted to find products in the home and kitchen niche. All right, okay. The next thing I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure that, we weren't going to have some like $5 products or at the same time products that cost like, $60 or more. So I put in the sales price field, minimum 10, maximum 60. I wanted to find products that were selling already. Like, is there a product in this bat niche that is selling pretty decently already? So under monthly sales, I put minimum 100 per month. All right. That means, hey, here's a bat related product that is in the home and kitchen that's priced between $10 and $60. And it is selling at least 100 units per month. I didn't want to have a bunch of variations, like a product that had a whole bunch of sizes. So what I put, again, I'm trying to retrace this. I'm doing this live here, guys. I think I put a maximum 1 under variation count. Okay, now, what else did I do? Okay, you might be wondering, well, how in the world am I looking for bat-related products? All right, well, what I did was I figured if it's a bat-related product, it's probably got bat in the title. Okay, and Nicole says variation, yes, max, should be in the max right here under 1. This is the minimum. I don't put anything. Max, I put 1. Okay. That's why the min is blank. All right. So under title keywords, I put bat. So like that means that I'm trying to find a product that had the word bat in it, because again, couple steps back, I saw in Market Tracker, there's bat related products showing up in my market. I looked and validated that in Amazon Opportunity Explorer. There's bat-related products. And I'm just wondering, is the only bat-related products shelves, or are there other bat-related products? Okay. I'm not sure if I entered more things. I'll know by the number. Go ahead and hit search now, guys, and let's see how many things come up. Let's see, 14 items. Okay, this is probably it. And then I started seeing some super interesting things. Now, of course, some things were completely unrelated because obviously a baseball bat, might show up. But take a look at this, guys. A bat, I don't know what this is, like a remote control holder or a decor box. Look at this one, a bat-shaped wine and beer opener. Now, all of a sudden, my creative juices were flowing. Here's a bat shelf. And then as I was scrolling down, boom, I was like, wow, look at this, a bat bath mat or bath rug. I was like, that is such a novel idea. And so I started looking at this. I'm like, hey, there is some opportunity here to make a bath mat. But here's the problem. When I looked on Amazon, I was like, the price is a little bit low, all right, compared to my cost. So I was like, is there any way I can differentiate this? So let me just show you what I was looking at. Let's just go here to Amazon and let's type in bath mat. Now, at the time, the prices were actually higher, but let me just walk you through kind of like my thought process here, okay? So take a look here. I started seeing this, and by the way, when I was looking at this, I think it was kind of like around the Halloween time, and there were like hundreds and hundreds of these being sold. Like now there's only a couple that there's like 100 or so being sold, but I'm like, this is a super cool product. What I like to see is like the number one product, like the one who is selling the most. What can somebody in the chat tell me about what is wrong with this? Like, what are they doing wrong that could get them literally suspended, their listing suspended at any time? Yes, Alexandra says no white background. Everybody, a lot of you professional sellers. I was like, I love to see this. We're the number one seller in the niche. Probably doesn't even know how to sell on Amazon because they've got this ugly image of a tile floor, and this literally could get suspended by Amazon at any time because it's not white background. And then as I scroll down here, this is what I love to see. I'm already like not even halfway down the page. All right. These are organic results. What do you guys notice here about these organic results? Is this one a bath mat? No, it's unrelated results. Who said that? Jonathan says that. I'm not even halfway down page one, and I have completely different results. Like here is somebody who's advertising here with a stone bath mat. It has nothing to do with this. Here's some spider web bath mats. This is what I love to see. Now, guys, this is now 4 months later. It was even more drastic when I was looking at this, where like nobody had bath mats, but at that time, all of these were like around $20. And I'm like, man, this is, I want to have some higher profit margins. I'm like, look at some of these guys are just blowing stuff out because, they probably had overstock. But I'm like, how am I going to have a product that's going to go for like $20 to $30 when people have at the time like $16, $17. So this is what I looked at. I was like, let me just look at regular bath mats. All right. Bath mat. Okay. This has nothing to do with bat shaped or coffin shaped or anything. And then this is what I saw. Like a lot of people had it for cheap prices. I'm like, okay, fine. But since I have a bat one, I don't have that much competition. But look at this. I didn't know much about bath mats at the time. But look at this. Do you guys, anybody see the difference between these and those ones that were the bat ones? Does anybody know about bath mats and like could see instantly? I know I'm zooming in here, the difference. So what the difference is the material. Do you guys see how thick this is? This is what's called, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. This is what's called chenille. If I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. I literally know nothing about this niche. Chenille. This is a lot more expensive material, and it is like it's kind of cool. Like your foot sinks into it, and your foot almost disappears into this material, and it's much more absorbent. And I'm like, okay, all right. So here's the thing. I want to make some bath mats, and that could launch some other products, like maybe some coffin bath mats and everything, but everybody's selling for this cheap price. So what I want to do is sell a bat-shaped bath mat, and I'm going to be the only one that's going to make it chenille. So let me show you. I got the product made, and then I went to AMZ One Step and paid them to go ahead and have a photo shoot done at their factory. And my product is not yet launched, guys. I just got this. I'm going to open up a Google Drive, guys. This is like real stuff. This is just a Google Drive that was sent to me 2 days ago. I got the images ready, and take a look at the products that I was able to develop based on all of these steps that I went. Here's a same thing, chenille bat-shaped bath mat. Let me show some more images here. I did some research and I'm like, all right, some of these are not machine washable. I'm going to make sure to have an image where people can clearly see that this is machine washable. That's another way that I can differentiate myself with the other competitors. What else did I put here? I made some detail about how the non-slip, backing, right? What else did I have in the images? I did like a really expensive photo shoot, guys. I really wanted to go out. Look at this. This is not 3D. This is like a real, Airbnb, not Airbnb. I don't know if it was Airbnb, but it might have been Airbnb, but they literally rented a house to have this that had like these kind of like minimalistic Gothic vibes. And we did a photo shoot to really kind of like differentiate. Now, take a look at some of these images and compare it to the images that we saw on the bath mat over there. All right. Completely different, right? Very high quality. So basically, guys, this is a product that I am going to launch either maybe this week or next week. And I'm going to launch at over $20 when everybody else was selling it for a lot cheaper. All right. So there's two different cases. Shivali will open up a brand new brand. Here's me. I was selling coffin shelves and I wanted to open up a kind of new line of products that aren't coffin related, but are from the same kind of like customer profile, I guess you could say. Somebody who's weird enough to buy a coffin shaped thing, probably weird enough to buy a bat shaped thing. So those are a couple of techniques. Let me give you guys a couple more techniques that those are real life examples. Let's go back into BlackBox, guys. All right, let's go back into I can't even say that right. Back into BlackBox. And then everybody let me know in the chat if you're with me. We're going to do something together. We're going to pick a imaginary product research situation right now. And somebody said, will the US consumer buy this all year long? Absolutely. Believe it or not, people buy coffin shelves all year round. They would absolutely buy this. The people who are into Gothic decor, they just love this kind of stuff. All right, everybody's ready. Now, I want you guys to click into keywords. This is the keywords tab. All right. Now, everybody give me some sample ideas of categories to choose. I'm going to give you kind of like an advanced technique, and I'm going to do one more advanced technique, and then we're going to open up to Q&A for about 5 minutes here. Somebody says kitchen. Somebody says pet. A bunch of people saying pets. Okay, let's go with those. So everybody, go ahead in your BlackBox keywords, select kitchen and dining, home and kitchen, just for kicks and giggles. And then what was the other thing that people started? Yeah, pet supplies. All right. Select pet supplies. Now, I'm on a tool that looks at keywords. So who can tell me in the chat what signifies demand for a keyword? Is it sales? What is the metric that signifies demand for keywords? All right, it is search volume. Exactly. So I'm going to say, hey, let me see a keyword that has at least 2,000 search volume, maybe a maximum of 10,000. And I might have to like lessen these because I might be doing something a little bit too narrow here. All right. And let's go into a price range where the average product on the search results, on average, of the top products are between, let's say, $20 and $50. All right. Now, here's what I like to do. I'd like to go to the very bottom of BlackBox keywords, and under competitor revenue, I'm going to do something that's opposite from logic. All right. This is opposite from the way that you might have learned how to do this tool. I'm going to say competitor revenue more than $5,000, a maximum of 4 and a minimum of 1. Traditionally, you might, and by the way, guys, there's not a right way and a wrong way here. I'm just trying to show you that you can have an opposite technique and you can still get a good result. The traditional teaching here is you want to find a keyword where most of the products are selling at least $5,000. I'm trying to do something different where maybe only a couple products are really doing well and the rest are just kind of like throwaways. Why do you think, guys? Why do you think this could give me something that might be opportunity? Let me know what you think in the chat. Why would I want to see where a keyword where not that many products in the top 10 are making good sales? Ritu says improvement opportunity. Max says bad listings. Yes. KL says try to be in the top. Yes, very good. Luis says low PPC. Guess what, guys? Everybody's correct. These are all reasons on why I'm doing this. Now, it doesn't mean that the opposite way is not going to get me good results too, but this is what I'm doing for this one. Now, competitor reviews out of the top 10, what I'm going to say is, hey, I want to see a minimum of, let's just say 6 products have less than 150 reviews. So that's what I'm doing in BlackBox keywords. Again, competitor reviews less than 150, minimum 6. Now there might be either a whole bunch or not enough. I'm not sure what's going to come up here. Yeah, I have too much here. Oh my goodness gracious. I found a pretty cool product right away, guys. I've never seen this keyword in my life. Goat blankets for winter. Search for 3,000 times a month. Like, there are 3,000 people out there trying to find blankets for their goats? Or is it blankets made from goat fur? I don't know. We can take a look at that. What else do we see here? Oyster shells, cat collar camera, wedding table numbers, tree wall art. Guys, these are all good opportunity stuff. Pottery apron. Like, I guess a pottery apron would be different than a regular apron. Like, it maybe needs to be more thick. All right. Taylor Swift bedding. I'm not going to do that one because that's probably branded there. Trademarked, I should say. Bulldog storage decoration. What the heck? Like, storage, is that a brand name, or is that like people want storage with pictures of bulldogs on it? Table numbers for wedding reception. Here's a Vietnamese keyword that I don't know. A heart-shaped charcuterie board. Guys, I literally just came up with one search. I came up with about 15 product opportunity ideas that all of these are pretty good. Jonathan says these are blankets for goats. I used to have goats myself, believe it or not. Like, here in San Diego County, I have 1 acre here property. I used to raise goats. I never bought them blankets. I'm sorry to say, but I guess I was, but I'm in Southern California, so it doesn't get too cold. So I think my goats were doing fine. But anyways, guys, that was just one search I just did with you guys right here, and we found 10 opportunities that could be worth looking at. One last quick one I wanted to do before we get 5 minutes of Q&A. Another new tool here in BlackBox. Now, those of you who have the diamond plan, you'll be able to see this. It's ABA top search terms. All right. This is combining Helium 10 data with what's we call Amazon Brand Analytics. Okay. Amazon Brand Analytics is something directly from Amazon, and we could see in here what are the top 3 clicked items by any keyword. This is directly from Amazon. This is not a Helium 10 metric. I mean, you're looking at it in Helium 10, but that's what this is. So right here, guys, this is gold because, like, for example, I could say, hey, show me something, let's say a keyword that has the word bat in it, going back to my original example, but where if I take a look at the top 3 clicked ASINs, okay, I want to see their total click share maybe at least 50%, meaning that, let's just see if anything comes up. That might be, nothing might come up here. Let's just take a look. But what that means is if I take the 3 products that had the most clicks after this keyword, it makes up more than 50% of the clicks overall. Okay. So that's what I would want to do. Phrases containing bats, and look at that. I might do the top 3 conversion share. That's another thing that I could look at as well. But these are unique data points that somebody could use where you combine Amazon data with Helium 10 data to find something completely new and different. All right, I've got 5 minutes now, maybe less, for question and answer. Let me take a look in the documents here in the chat, what you guys have sent in. All right, here we go. This is from Frank. What is better to use, a coupon or discounted price? Great question, Frank. So he's talking about when you launch a product like Shivali did. Either or. Yeah, I personally use discounted price. I try and get a strike through and have a big discount. And then sometimes it's like it'll put a little red symbol that says, like, 50% off. But then other times, if that doesn't happen, using a coupon might be better because it gives you that green bar in the search results. Alexandra says, what was the product photography company? Oh, the one that did the batch stuff. That was AMZ One Step. So you can see them at, go to hub.helium10.com. Alexandra, hub.helium10.com. And you can contact them right inside Helium 10. Just type in AMZ and then One Step. And then make sure that you say that Helium, you learned or heard from Helium 10 or from Bradley on this workshop. Shivali, can you let us know who made your images? All right, so I think you One Step, Shivali. So James is wondering who did you use?
I used myself.
So all of those images you actually took yourself, like your phone?
I did my own images. I also made my own infographics.
Wow.
I did the course on my own.
You had to have outsourced something though, like the editing.
Nothing. I've outsourced nothing.
Wait, you know how to do Photoshop and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I make all my own videos for TikTok, for Instagram, anything I post. I did my own product photography with a camera I have at home. Although for social, I typically just iPhone it and then use Canva for infographics. So that's free, which contributes to the very high profit margins.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that definitely helps. Like me, I have no Photoshop skills. Maybe a lot of you don't have Photoshop skills, so you've got to outsource.
I didn't use that much Photoshop. All I did, like if you wanted to do this yourself, they actually, the same thing that you pay $1,000 for, you can do on your own. All I did is take a white sheet, put it up on a wall at home, got a phone. I ordered like a $20 or $30 circular thing, but that was for video. It wasn't even for just photography. And then I put it onto like a white table and then threw it into a free iPhone app for background remover, and then put everything into Canva. Okay,
so Canva, able to do it. Pretty impressive.
If you guys want to do this on your own, you can also, I believe we have a module in Freedom Ticket for making your own product images. So you guys can watch that too. I filmed that one.
If you are at all artistically inclined, it doesn't even take Photoshop to do this. But you could be like me and be completely illiterate from an artistic sense. And that's why I outsource my stuff to different companies who are the professionals. So there's not a right or a wrong way to go about it. Hosam asked, how does brand analytics help you? Could you please explain with an example? So brand analytics, the number one benefit of brand analytics is that Amazon is telling you after the search of a keyword, which 3 products are clicked the most. And of those 3 products, what kind of sales share do they have of the people who end up buying a product after searching that keyword? Super, super valuable information that you can see inside of Helium 10 that comes directly from brand analytics. Frank says, I would like some launch help, for example, Vine, coupons, giveaways. What would you recommend these days? So if you're talking about like the old school giveaways, that's against terms of service now on Amazon. What Shivali did, what I'm going to do is fully within terms of service is mainly just using PPC. All right. So if you guys want to know the 3 episodes, you guys have some homework. You guys want to know how to launch the product in the same exact way that Shivali and I launch our product. This is what I'm going to leave you guys with. Write this down. Everybody have a pen and paper ready? All right. Write down these 3 episodes. h10.me/466. All right. Or it's Serious Sellers Podcast episode 466. You can look it up on your, I want everybody actually typing it in right now. Go into your Apple iPhone and go to Apple Podcast and go into Serious Sellers Podcast and hit subscribe. The 3 episodes you want to look at for how to launch your product to get ready for it is 466 and 467. So you can go on your podcast or you can just type in h10.me/466 or 467. The one to actually launch it is 500. All right, so there's 3 episodes that you want you guys to listen to, 466, 467, and 500. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye now.